We're standing in the Imperial Palace, which is the set of the Emperor Shaddam IV, who is the ruler of all the known universe. And the production designer, Kreka, has incorporated many elements of Art Nouveau and Baroque styles into this incredible set, which is meant to represent wealth and power and the Emperor's control of the entire universe. 3 years ago, Richard Rubenstein and Mitchell Gallen came to me and said that they'd been able to get the rights, television rights, to Frank Herbert's Dune, and would I be interested in getting involved in it. Of course, my initial response was, how fast can I sign up? Because I had read the book when I was younger. I loved the book. I was very much hopeful that we could do something with it that hadn't been done previously. I went into the network and I told them that I wanted to approach the book in exactly the way that Frank Herbert had laid it out. And there are 3 sub-novels within the first novel, Dune. And I thought that here was an opportunity to tell the story as Herbert told it in the book in 3 nights, each book representing a night of drama. And the network liked that very much, so we carried on that way, and I wrote a story treatment based on that paradigm. They approved it, started the first draft, and within a relatively short amount of time we had a very good workable first draft. Made a few minor changes for the second draft, and then we were off and running. When I started this project, I was determined to be as faithful as possible to the book. Now, of course, these are 2 different media. One is a book, a novel, which can have an entire interior life to its musings, which you can't have really in film. In film, you have to have a more straight-line narrative. So yes, there have been adaptations. Some scenes happen before other scenes. Some people say some things in one scene in the book, and they say them a little differently in my film. But I think at the end of the day, people will look at this, and those who really know the book will see that it's a very faithful adaptation of the story. When we were talking about casting Dune, we had to make certain choices. Were we going to go after certain names to try and draw an audience by virtue of their names? Were we going to go with unknowns? My instinct was always to go with great actors. And if they were unknowns, so be it. The star of the movie is Dune. The story is the star. So I was insistent that we just find great actors for each of the roles. Fortunately, I was lucky to get a man like William Hurt, who wanted to play Duke Leto. I went to London. I was looking around for Paul. I looked in New York. I looked in Los Angeles. And almost by accident, I found Alec Newman. And it was just like a stroke of great luck. Or maybe it was meant to be. Maybe he was the Muad'Dib just waiting to happen. But he is a terrific young actor out of England who has taken on the challenge of a character that has to go from being about 18 to about 22, 23, who has to go from being a relatively naive young boy, young prince, to a mature, desert-hardened leader of men into battle. And the character arc that Alec has gone through is just extraordinary. I also found Saskia Reeves in England. I saw an audition tape of hers where she did a half-an-hour monologue. I had looked far and wide for somebody to play Lady Jessica, who would have the gravitas, who would have the sensitivity, who would have the emotional warmth. And I saw this in this 1 half-hour tape, everything that I wanted. And she was just it. In the Czech Republic, I have found phenomenal actors. They have a great theater tradition here that has gone on for years and years and decades, and their training is extraordinary. Carol Dobry, who plays Dr. Kynes, phenomenally intense actor. Bara Kadetova, who is Cheney. As far as I'm concerned, after seeing her, there just couldn't be anybody else but Bara for Cheney. Giancarlo Giannini came from Italy to play the Emperor, and the day he walked on the set in his wardrobe, just, I am the Emperor. That was all. That was all that was needed. Julie Cox in London, phenomenal young actress who has taken the character of Princess Irulan and given it a life that isn't even really in the book. In the book, Irulan is a bit of a cipher. She's the chapter headings. But from them, I gleaned a whole character, and Julie has made it come to life. Ian Mcneice lives in Los Angeles. Ian Mcneice came to me through our casting agent, Molly Lapata, and he did one of the most outrageous auditions that I had ever seen, where he literally pulled a skull cap off his head in doing one of the scenes, and was just such a grotesque performance. It was just magical. And he is the Baron. William Hurt told him the other day that he was born to play this role. I'd seen Matt Kiesler in a couple of films, and I thought, this is really an interesting young actor, but I didn't know too much about him. My friend Wes Craven did Scream 3 with him, and thought he did a terrific job. And when it was suggested to me, I thought, well, this is going to be, he's kind of an emerging young star. Maybe he won't want to come over and do Dune in the Czech Republic for 4 months. But he wanted to do it right away, and we snatched him up, and he's delightfully evil.